Oh, yes. This is in case anyone gets dry, clacking mouth up here. Okay.
Did you say that your hearing had stopped? Oh, in the shop.
Hello, my name is Jeanette Faber, and I'm your worship associate today. Our welcome. Welcome to this time of seeking and finding, for it is in our own coming together here that we celebrate who we are and who we yet shall be. Welcome to our annual poetry service. Poetry is the art of seeking and finding, a portal to name what is and what shall be. Our call to worship. Meister Eckhart said in his first sermon, "Every creature is a word of God. The word of God, whatever God is, I don't presume. When I say God, I wish there was another word. This energy or whatever every creature is an expression of that. Yes, a spell, but poetry is a spell, isn't it? That's what one hopes, a spell that returns us to ourselves. Not that it bewitches us, but I feel like poetry that I love is the poetry that returns me to myself, whole for a minute. It is so rare to feel that way." Okay, I'll try once more. There we go. Whew. We light this chalice for all the poets and lovers of poetry, from antiquity to the present. Poets light the way into the depths of our souls, the way into the potential of our humanity, the way into a new vision of being, the way into a new way of being and living. Our joys and sorrows. Let's see here. So we invite you to come up and place light a candle for a joy that you have, or put a rock in the water for a sorrow that you have.
Good morning, everyone. I just returned from a month's visit with my younger brother in Olympia, Washington, helping him adjust to assisted living and memory care. Chris was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's at only 60. We shared a magical and profound time together, which left me mulling over the nature of memory and its constantly evolving relationship with who we are, who we've been, and who we're becoming. In The Sight of Memory, Toni Morrison called her writing process literary archaeology. She wrote, "Writing requires an act of imagination bound up with memory. You know, they straightened out the Mississippi River in places to make room for houses and living acreage. Occasionally, the river floods these places. Floods is the word they use, but in fact, it is not flooding. It is remembering. Remembering where it used to be. All water has perfect memory and is forever trying to get back to where it was. Writers are like that, remembering where we were, what valley we ran through, what the banks were like, the light that was there, and the route back to our original place. It is emotional memory, what the nerves and skin remember, as well as how it appeared. And a rush of imagination is our flooding. In Hard Life with Memory, my favorite poet, Wisława Szymborska, a Polish poet, personifies her memory as a she and speaks directly to her almost like a permanent roommate with all the intimacy and conflict you imagine that involves. I'm a poor audience for my memory. She wants me to attend her voice nonstop. But I fidget, fuss, listen, and don't. Step out, come back, then leave again. Can folks hear me? I'm trying not to pop too much with the microphone. She wants all my time and attention. She's got no problem when I sleep. The day's a different matter, which upsets her. She thrusts old letters, snapshots at me eagerly, stirs up events both important and turns my eyes to overlooked views, peoples them with my dead. In her stories, I'm always younger, which is nice, but why always the same story? Every mirror holds different news for me. She gets angry when I shrug my shoulders and takes revenge by hauling out old errors, weighty but easily forgotten. Looks into my eyes, checks my reaction, then comforts me. It could be worse. She wants me to live only for her and with her, ideally in a dark, locked room, but my plans still feature today's sun, clouds in progress, ongoing roads. At times I get fed up with her. I suggest a separation from now to eternity. Then she smiles at me with pity, since she knows it would be the end of me too. And the final poem is about the neuroplasticity of memory. You've probably heard that neurologists say that memories change over time, because every time we recall a memory, we are actually remembering the last time we recalled that same memory, not the original experience itself. So, synaptic plasticity. The way the eagles return to the same nests, this is the way the mind sometimes returns to the same memory, as if the mind wings across all other branching neurons to ever arrive at the same comfortable space. There are, of course, many other places to land, some of them perhaps more beautiful, more sturdy. Still, the mind returns to that one moment. As tonight, when my thoughts again migrate to the summer evening when my grandmother and I danced in our old white living room, a waltz on the radio and her leading me in the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 steps that she loved. And her hair is white and pinned up high, and her lips are red, and her nails are red, and she smells like cigarettes and toujours moi. There are millions of other memories we shared, millions of other moments we shared. So why do I always alight here first? Perhaps for the thrill of sharing her joy, which so often she did not share. Tonight, as on that night, the long summer light streams through the window, weaves into the nest of memory as if to strengthen it, the way an eagle might weave in new sticks, new lichen, new grass, so that the next time the mind wants to arrive here, the memory will be waiting, even softer, even more home than before.
In deference to my fellow readers, I'm only going to read one of the poems from my book. Imagination. Without it, we'd be trapped in the here and now and have no concept of what the future might endow. All tomorrows locked within each brain, all music, paintings, theories, would there remain. No white rabbit scurrying on his way. Hurry, hurry, don't delay. Without that apple, where would Newton be? Never birthing wildest theory. No Sistine Chapel would our eyes amaze, peering up with raptured gaze. Or the meadow Darcy strides, but only 'cause Miss Austen scribes. The itsy-bitsy spider ne'er climbing up her spout, forever she'd just be down and out. No E equals MC squared. How could Einstein have ever dared? Eroica never to grace our ears, nor Guernica to speak of sadder years. How minds can dream of things as yet unknown and bring to life such stuff full blown that we in humble gratitude wonder at those minds with jealous attitude. What questions dwell in minds unknown and whose seeds remain unsown?
I know it's here somewhere. Here it is. I knew it was there somewhere. Good morning. I would like to read a poem I titled Rock Garden, which reflects my childhood growing up in rural southern New Hampshire. Rock Garden. A new rock crop struggles toward the light through dark March soil, drawn by nature's cycle, freeze and thaw, slowly up until their crowns break ground in chill stillbirth. Don Seward soon will ride his iron ox across the land, exposing Earth's full belly to the sky. Then we will walk the sea of crumbly sod, turned in furrowed waves, harvesting the melon stones of spring, New Hampshire avocados. The toddler boulders chatter as we pile them on the pan, in tow behind the tractor, grunting treeward through the grass. By fall, they will be home to chipmunk, snake, and vole. I bear a mark upon my forehead in witness to this vernal rite, when I strode careless into a granite block heaved by Brother Richard toward the woodline wall. Blood streamed in sheets of ruddy rain across my eyes, till Dr. Sander neatly stitched the wound. How fast New England skies can change. At length, the dusty strings of hemp stretched taut, draped between pale maple stakes, guiding hoes along loam highways heading toward the maypole sun. We lay the baby seeds in a shallow cradle trench and tuck them soft to sleep beneath a coverlet of soil, to dream till Mother Mist awakens them and sprout, a resurrection wet and green. Nestled in the dirt, their countless cousins also doze, hidden in the cracks between the bedrock and the clouds, unwanted ragamuffin weeds, bred by nature's hand to laugh at drought and flood, the pool game played with asteroids across the sky, to smile amused at humans struggling for order in a jungle glade. We strip our shirts for battle and enter the arena beneath a solstice sun to engage the ancient vines on an oval run that never ends. Rototiller roar, a salty ear, before Big Brother noises guiding grip, pulverizing bone and brain along with the plantain. Still, bare knuckles scrape red raw on parch-packed ground between the rows, to the thunk and bassest beat of the wheelbarrow bounce. Brother Dick hurls a hardball stone against an oak. Strike 3 resounds before Mom calls that we can't play until 10 rows are done. Ants annoy with careless scurry. Weeds transform to bug bombs, exploding through their roots. The front advances up a row of beams. Why must killing come so easily, especially against a helpless mite, the dewdrop spider on the backyard fence? The pretty August clouds grow tall until the western sky squalls black with storm. We helter-skelter toward shelter, welcoming the break as bolder raindrops splatter in the dust, then stop outside the farmhouse door and turn, mesmerized by the electric play. Perhaps I'll be a weatherman someday, study lightning or tornadoes, anything but tend this tedious land, while classmates swim and ride their bikes, at least in my imagination. My father later reminisced, "It kept you out of trouble, and we always had potatoes on the table. 8 hungry, braying kids, how did you manage shoes?" At last, the sun swings low. We lust for fun, transform from cow to deer, and bound across the field into the softwood, then morph to squirrels up white pine to find sweet pitch upon our paws. Barn bats dive for rocks tossed high, confusing them for moths. We laugh at their mistake. Soon potato dust drifts on the gritty breeze, carrying the smell of pitchfork spuds spread on shredded sheets to dry beneath the harvest stars. They saw us through the winter snow, bivouacked within dark cellar walls. We crave the Deerfield Country Fair, the topsy loose change spilling rides, blue ribbons for unlikely Yankee peanuts, something to anticipate, like death. Green tomato scent rolls round my nose, the fat fruit loll on dewy cotton quilts, burning pink in Piscean moonlight. They warn of grisly Father Frost, who never fails to visit when the pumpkin ripens plump. A rocket trail from Wallop Sands confounds the evening sky, eclipsing our hand labor with surprise. The seasoned planets sail serenely by. Now the garden's lawn, the barn and bats are gone, along with Dad after one last August mow. Real farmers relocated west a century ago in search of tamer soil. My father's family stayed, rooted to the glacial till. I ventured across the Merrimack to try another way. Thank you. Whoops, wrong way. Okay.
I forgot to share the announcements, my apologies. Welcome to newcomers. The Connection team hosts a table, especially for newcomers, at the rear of the social hall every Sunday. Folks can answer your questions about UUism and USNH, and you can chat a bit more deeply with others. All are welcome. It's time for Postcard for Democracy. Again, postcards will be available in the social hall to get out the vote in the Virginia general elections. Let's help keep Virginia progressive. Waverly School needs supplies. Any contributions will help children be more successful in their school year. Look for the collection box in the USNH lobby. Join us for the 1 Million Rising Resistance Gathering on Sunday, August 10th at 4 p.m. in the social hall. Sing, stand in community together, share collective wisdom, prepare to take action to stop authoritarianism through non-cooperation techniques. As we look toward another church year at the beginning of September, the tech team is looking for some new members to lighten the load. There is friendly and thorough training available, and if you're interested or just want to sit in the back and watch some magic happen and see if it feels like a good fit for you, please reach out to USNH office or speak to the tech team member on Sunday morning, and they'd be delighted to answer your questions. Lastly, this year's Olympic Games will be next Sunday, August 10th, after the worship with Reverend Stephen, and will feature all ages games, art, and other opportunities to play, an outdoor barbecue lunch provided by the Connection team, and special guests and presentations. Today's readings are by poets. Joy Harjo is a living Native American poet. When I began to listen to poetry, it's when I began to listen to the stones, and I began to listen to what the clouds had to say, and I began to listen to others. And I think most importantly for all of us, then you begin to learn to listen to the soul of yourself in here, which is also the soul of everyone else. Oh, sorry. Today's offering, please make your check payable to USNH and note purpose of gift in the memo line, pledge for the offering or an offering gift. You may also text the word give to 203-769-9299. And thank you for your generosity. Your donations are always gratefully received.
Morning. My name is Malcolm. Each of these short poems, for me, paints a picture, a simple image. The Field Where You Lost Your Mother by Laura Gilpin. The field where you lost your mother is the same field where you lost your tricycle years ago. She told you never to play there where you couldn't be seen above the grass, but the grass kept waving to you. And one day it opened and invited you inside, and you rode in on your tricycle, your fists tight on the handlebars and your feet grinding the wheels into the soft mud. And each stem moved aside as you passed by it, and each door opened as you arrived. And when you saw the butterfly dipping down between the stalks, you had to follow, leaving your tricycle wedged into the roots of grass. And when the butterfly was gone, the field closed in around you, and the tall stems brushed against your eyes, and you tried to retrace your steps, but you couldn't find them. And for years, every day, you went back searching through the tall grass for your tricycle. So, when you came home and saw your father weeping, and he told you you had lost your mother, you knew where to look for her, in the field, where you knew you would not find her. The Red Wheelbarrow by William Carlos Williams. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. The Two-Headed Calf by Laura Gilpin. Tomorrow, when the farm boys find this freak of nature, they will wrap his body in newspaper and carry him to the museum. But tonight, he is alive and in the north field with his mother. It is a perfect summer evening. The moon rising over the orchard, the wind in the grass, and as he stares into the sky, there are twice as many stars as usual.
Good morning. The poems I'll read today were written by Joyce Sullivan, a dear friend and longtime member of USNH who passed away a year ago this past May. I share them to honor her memory. They danced the tango. They danced the tango miraculously well on the white-lit stage at the end of the night dark green. New Haven, deserted and black, except for the lights in empty offices along the streets and around the bright square stage. We came across them 14 couples looking into each other's eyes. They turned and bent and paused and then danced on, feet twisting in intricate patterns, high heels kicking back in time to the exotic tango beat. We watched in awe a Fellini scene played out on New Haven's night dark green. Sorry. Yo-Yo's smile. Yo-Yo's smile brightened the already radiant day awaiting the new president. Aretha's voice so strong, her hat so crazy bold, sang sweetly freedom's ring. Alexander's poem of love spread light across the crowd. Even the garbled oath had silly charm, for nothing could spoil the day. In a moment, it was over. Young and smart and wise, Barack was ours. He spoke of obligation, of the need for work and thoughtfulness, of taking back our country from its greed. And then, accompanied by armored cars and happy crowds, he rode and partly walked the long path leading to his home. Making applesauce. It's so much easier to make applesauce than to write a poem. Today, after struggling for over an hour to rework a poem about the effect of grandchildren on one's life that I've been trying to write for 6 weeks, I finally said, to hell with this, and walked into the kitchen to make a batch of applesauce. The scent of the Braeburns and the taste as I nibbled was sharp, spicy, and so pleasing as it rose from the cutting board. The slippery feel of the apples as I cut them and sliced off the skin with my sharpest little stainless steel knife was sensuous, made my hands feel alive. I cooked the cut up apples and then smushed them with my smusher. Then I put in some natural sugar, some cinnamon, nutmeg, and for fun, tossed in the contents of a tiny box of raisins. The crowning touch was a lot of chopped walnuts. After all, after that, still enjoying the aroma of the spiced up apples, I began to make a chicken stew for dinner. It is so hard to write a poem, so easy to cook or paint, when different senses take over and words are not important or even necessary. The really lousy poem can wait. Dinner, on the other hand, will be great. Hey, is there a poem in here somewhere? Thank you.
I was told I was rising it to the highest height. I think we're there. All right, cool. Hello, my name is Mary Kate. I'm a relatively new member of USNH, and I'm very grateful I was able to join in for this service. I started writing poetry a few years back based off a letter that I found online. It was a letter that Kurt Vonnegut, the author, had written to an English class. This English class had written a bunch of famous authors asking them for writing advice by assignment from their teacher, and Kurt Vonnegut was the only writer that responded. His advice, I've never read his works, but I'm very proud of this for him. His advice was to write a 6-line poem every day, or maybe every once in a while anyway, and to not share it. It's not for grading, it's not for anyone else. You should tear it up and throw it away. And I was inspired by this and started writing short poems when I had a few moments to spare. And luckily, I did not throw mine away. I'm going to raise this up a little bit more. There we go. So the first Yosemite was written in Yosemite. To plan an adventure is to break out of the box, to never be too sure, to be joyful in wet socks. So here's to the adventure, the fear and the sore feet, the wanderlust to cure, and the new day to meet. The next is a librarian's oath. By the responsibility vested in me, by the tributaries of story, and the river of knowledge's creations, and the American Library Association, I will uphold this temple without a steeple, the last palace of the people, to one and all, near and far, a local public library card. And the next is an ode to Mary Oliver, inspired by Dorothy Parker. It's a limerick, actually. There once was a poet named Mary, whose poems always included a berry, a stick, a dog, a flower, or tree. Why have one when you could have three? So she wrote herself a whole prairie. And the last is Amtrak to Philly. The world is continually fair and foul. What's under there? What's over here? No, I messed that up. I'm doing it again. Amtrak to Philly. The world is continually fair and foul. What's under here? What's over there? Let's take a train, go for a walk, turn every page, look under a rock. I want to see it all. What it is, I don't know. Curiosity is my call, and the world is my show.
Our second reading is from the poet Carl Sandburg. Poetry is the journal of the sea animal living on land, wanting to fly in the air. Poetry is a search for syllables to shoot at the barriers of the unknown and the unknowable. Poetry is a phantom script telling how rainbows are made and why they go away.
That was appropriate for this first poem. Oh, I'm Patricia, also known as Patty, and there are two poems by Nancy J. Duff. Ship of Fools. Plato describes a ship of fools, an allegory of what government looks like when led by people with no discernible tools for steering a ship, who feed on illusion of skill while wanting only power, ready to kill any qualified candidate who tries to devour their own ambitions. They have no suspicion that a true pilot must give attention to the time of year, seasons, sky, wind, stars, all that pertains to the art of being a true captain who can guide us in this ark to its proper destination while protecting the ship's foundation and all who are on board. Stanley Kramer's 1965 Ship of Fools is an ocean liner. 600 migrant field workers held on the dock below are treated by hardliners as nothing more than cargoes, while a Jewish passenger and Glocken, a person with dwarfism, eat together, sharing their cynicism because they are not allowed at the captain's table, while Aryans headed for Germany and a dog named Baby are able to join the captain every night. Glocken, the last to leave the ship, breaks the fourth wall, claiming to hear the audience say, "What has this got to do with us? Nothing, nothing at all." And Glocken walks away, chuckling to himself. These allegories have everything to do with us as we seek to survive on our own ship of fools. Migrants, again, are treated like cargo, things to be moved from here to there, never protected by well-established rules, while the man from Mar-a-Lago and his hive of advisors lay bare their lust for power, with no qualifications, no proper tools for running a government. In fact, at this hour, expertise disqualifies anyone who may try to join their ranks as military tanks roll down the street. As we travel on the Ship of Fools, we are in need of a lifeboat, but none can be found that are still afloat. And we find we're tired while seeking to be inspired to find new ways to leave this ship of ghouls. On a lighter note, after reading too many murder mysteries, how did the victim die? Pushed from a cliff, hit over the head, attacked by dogs, drugged before bed, strangled, drowned, stabbed, shot? And will the killer ever be caught? But who did it? The creepy stranger? The friendly neighbor? The one never paid for all his hard labor? The soft-spoken wife of a violent man? An angry son? A crazy fan? The loving husband who seemed so mild? Oh, please, God, not the child. The man in debt with no money to earn? The woman once loved, now cruelly spurned. The detective, oh, it couldn't be him. Perhaps it was all of them. Or the narrator, it could possibly be, but oh my, that would be me. Nancy J. Duff is a Christian ethicist who taught at Princeton Theological Seminary for 30 years and is my younger sister.
My name is Mark Bauer. My pronouns are he, him. And I'm going to read a poem by Derek Walcott, Caribbean poet and Nobel Prize winner. It's entitled Love After Love. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life.
Our last reading is a quote by the poet David Whyte. The poet lives and writes at the frontier between deep internal experience and the revelations of the outer world. There is no going back once this frontier has been reached. A new territory is visible, and what has been said cannot be unsaid. Poetry is a break for freedom. So we will extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this chalice, but not the flame of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our benediction is by the poet Audre Lorde. Poetry is not a luxury, it is a vital necessity in our existence.